What's up, traders? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and we traded 15,376.50s again today. So I want to review just kind of what the game plan was coming into the day, and then I'll show the trade in which I took and that was called out in the Discord. So if you guys didn't know, each morning I send out what I call a write-up here, and essentially today was going to be the fourth day of NASDAQ rallying. So there's our quick title here. As we're coming into the trading day, we're looking at 3 days worth of good movement over the past few days. Pretty impressive. Today, however, is looking pretty dull compared to that. And I didn't think it was something to get super excited about. We did have a 159-point range on the day. Overall, it's kind of top to bottom. But it wasn't the greatest look, kind of coming into the day, right? We had tried to go a little high, a little lower, tried to go a little higher. We got some of that news announcement that came out there in the morning. So overall, it just wasn't looking like, the greatest of days, right? So I talked about one potential stock here. NFLX was the weakest name on the board. We talked about this one yesterday in the free video. So if you guys did not watch that, go back, check that one out, and you'll kind of see how the series of events played out for NFLX. But with this one, it was the weakest name on the board, looking for 365.08 to trade. It looks like it wants to move from the open, so a trend under OP is the first short order. If it decides to pop, then let it have any rally it needs, and then back under opening print, we look for shorts here. So if we go take a look at that NFLX there, you can see we just got shy of the 365.08 here. Now, I personally skipped out on this trade, and instead, I basically did the same thing as this trade in terms of the setup in and of itself. With the NASDAQ and the S&Ps, I used the S&Ps as opposed to NFLX here. I think this would have been very much valid to do so right up here from these highs on this last test of 376.50s. Well, I say last test. Right here, notice this. So as we come up and we make these highs in NFLX here, if we look at that across the board on the NASDAQ, we're trading right up into that 15,376.50s. Now, for me, like I said, this is a valid relative weakness play based on the NASDAQ hitting that upper target, 15,376.50s. And then, ultimately, it ends up, 26 cents or so away from hitting this 365.08 target there. So it moves, almost, total range of the day, $12.47. So pretty decent move. I watched the 365 puts go from $1.25 to, I think they closed somewhere around like $2.80, $2.70, I want to say it was. Actually, no. I think it was $3.70. So, again, I skipped out on this trade, but the reason being is because that same high in which we were looking at there out of NFLX, we also had in the S&Ps back into opening print here. So 4402.75 is the opening print for the S&Ps. As we're coming up here in the NASDAQ, making these highs right up in through here and tagging 15,376.50s, the S&Ps are reacting off of the opening print here and looking like they want to make the next leg to the downside here, given the weakness that we had in the morning and all of the other things. So this was the trade in which, was able to pick up. It was good for just a little over 10 points in the 10.5 points in the S&Ps here. So 8:07, so 11:07 Eastern time. Abe's over in West Coast. I just said kind of want to short the S&Ps from opening print. If NQ can set the divergence, that would be NASDAQ up into that 376.50s, maybe a new high on the day, a signal, all the things, right? So we ultimately end up getting the 376.50 test, the lower high in reaction off of 44.0275s. And then this ends up being the trade in which we were able to capture right down here into new lows on the day. So anyways, pretty solid. And then we rallied right back up here to 44.17 quarters, which will probably play a pretty important role tomorrow as to whether or not we can continue to hold this trend, for the next couple of days. So I think the rest of this week is, we only got 2 days left here. We're going to start to get some earnings names. We've got a pretty decent bounce back over the past, 4 trading days here now. The big thing that I see that kind of stands out to me. Again, Netflix was pretty easy yesterday in terms of like it was showcasing itself in terms of the weakness that it had. I don't think today we really have anything that's kind of showcasing that strength in a really, big way, something that I think has to probably make the list. Netflix obviously still showcasing that weakness pretty well here. So I'm a little bit conflicted on the rest of the week. In addition to that, one last thing. Russell here, Dow here, not able to rally back, get these new highs, going into the close for today, right? So I'm taking that little bit of information kind of into the equation here, because Russell was super weak today when NASDAQ was trying to get this rally here and, looking to retest this 15,376.50s. The Russell here was just, not having any parts of it. And I mean, that's pretty decent sell off, from 1800s down to 1780s, even 1775 is a pretty big move coming out of the Russell. So I think this move and the Dow move kind of has to be respected here over the next few days. And if there's any more upside, we got that 449.50s up here for the NASDAQ. I think that's going to be a bit of a drag, kind of kicking and screaming to get up into that area. And then from there, I think it could get a little interesting. So anyways, that's what I got here for tonight's video. Take care. Hope it helps. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.